Oh, I am live on Instagram, as far as I know. I'm David Walliams. Thank you very much for joining me at 6 o'clock on Good Friday. And I promised you I would read from my book, Gangster Granny, that I will do for you. But before that, I just wanted to introduce you to a very special little person. And this is Ernie. And Ernie wanted to say hello to everybody because he's a very, very special little pup. And he's been keeping me company very well in this very strange time. That is Ernie. He's not actually a big fan of my books, but hopefully some of you are. So this is Gangster Granny. For those of you who haven't read it, what are you waiting for? It's a story of this boy, Ben, who finds out that his grandma is an international jewel thief. And in the story, he discovers that in his grandma's kitchen, she has a great big tin full of priceless jewels. Now, obviously, Ben is completely intrigued. Where has she got these from? And she lays them all out on the carpet of her living room. And she tells him how she stole each one. And at that moment, they notice someone is peering in at them through the window. Ben's eyes darted towards the window. For a brief moment, he saw a dark figure wearing a strange hat peer through the dirty glass and then quickly disappear out of view. There was a man peering in at the window, said Ben breathlessly. I know, said Granny. I told you not to look. Shall I go out and see who it was? Said Ben, trying to hide the fact that he was more than a little frightened. Really, he wanted Granny to go out and see who it was. Oh, I bet it was my nosy neighbour, Mr. Parker. He's always spying on people. He's a retired major, and now he runs the local neighbourhood watch group. What's neighbourhood watch? Asked Ben. Oh, it's a group of local people who keep an eye out for burglars. But Mr. Parker just uses it as an excuse to spy on everybody, the nosy old git. I often come back from the supermarket with my bag of cabbages and see he's hiding behind his net curtains, spying on me with a pair of binoculars. Is he suspicious about you? Said Ben, more than a little panicked. He didn't want to be thrown in jail for aiding and abetting a criminal. He didn't really know what abetting meant, actually, but he knew it was a crime, and he knew he was too young for prison. He's suspicious about everyone. We have to keep an eye out for him, young lad. The man is a menace. Ben went over to the window and peered out. Bring! Ben's heart nearly missed a beat. It was only the doorbell, but if they let Mr. Parker inside, he would see all the evidence the police would need to send Ben and his granny straight to prison. Don't answer it, said Ben, as he ran to the middle of the room and started stuffing all the jewels back in the tin as quickly as he could. What do you mean, don't answer it? He knows I'm at home. He just saw us through the window. You answer the door and I will hide the jewels. Me? Yes, you. Hurry. Bring. This ring was more insistent. Mr. Parker had left his finger on the buzzer for even longer. Ben took a deep breath and walked calmly through the hall to the front door. He opened it. Outside stood a man in a very silly hat. Don't believe me? This is how silly his hat was. Yes, said Ben in a squeaky high voice. Can I help you? Mr. Parker put his foot inside the bungalow so the front door couldn't be closed on him. Who are you? He barked nasally. He had a very big nose, which made him seem even nosier than he was, and he already seemed extremely nosy. Because he had a big nose, he also had a very nasal voice, which made everything he said, however serious, seem a little bit absurd. But his eyes shone red, like a demon. I'm Granny's friend, spluttered Ben. Why did I say that, he thought. In truth, he was in a terrible panic. and his tongue was running away with him. "Friend," snarled Mr. Parker, pushing open the front door. He was stronger than Ben and soon forced his way inside. I mean, grandson, Mr. Parker, sir," said Ben, retreating back towards the living room. "Why are you lying to me?" he said, taking several paces forward, as Ben took several paces back. It was as if they were dancing the tango. "I'm not lying," cried Ben. They reached the living room door. "You can't go in there," yelled Ben, thinking of the jewels still scattered all over the carpet. "Why not?" Because Granny is doing her naked yoga." Ben needed a dramatic excuse to stop Mr. Parker barging through the door and seeing the jewels. He was pretty sure he had hit the jackpot as Mr. Parker paused and furrowed his brow. Sadly, the nosy neighbour was not convinced. "Naked yoga, a likely story. I need to talk to your grandmother right away. Now get out of my way, you nasty little worm of a boy," he said, as he shoved the boy aside and opened the living room door. Granny must have heard Ben through the door, because when Mr. Parker burst into the room, she was standing in her bra and knickers in tree pose. "Mr. Parker, do you mind?" she said in mock horror that he had seen her in a state of undress. Well, there is a little bit of Gangster Granny for you. The naked yoga scene, I always enjoy reading that. Now, I'm looking at all these lovely waves and love hearts you're sending, and I'm just seeing if any questions might pop up. And then I could please say hello to Sam. He loves my books. No, I won't. No, of course I will. Hello, Sam. I'm glad you like my books. Lots of hellos. Someone's calling me a slightly rude word. Begins with a P. I'm not going to read it out. Lots of love hearts. Lots of people asking to be in the live video. Well, that's a nice idea, but what if I click on you and you're in the nude? Okay, here's a question. What was your inspiration for slime? Well, I've always thought slime was such a fun thing, and to my knowledge, there'd never been a story about it. And I thought, well, it's one of these weird, mysterious things, isn't it? Where did it come from? How did it suddenly become popular? What if it was actually a living thing? And that's really what got me started on the story Slime. I love how you're reading that book with all these emotions. They're very, very realistic emotions, aren't they? Which book is my favourite? Favourite book I've ever written is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I let this lady called Jo Rowling get the credit for it. I kind of regret that now. Where did Hamster Granny come from? Well, I don't know, because I never wrote a book called Hamster Granny. But actually, that's a great idea, so I might do that. Let's have a look. How did you come up with Gangster Granny? Well, it's a little bit based on my granny, who I used to think was boring and have to play Scrabble with her on a Friday night, until I asked her about her life, and she told me about living in London during the Blitz, during the Second World War, when Nazi bombs were raining down on ordinary people. And I realised that she'd had this really exciting life before I was even born. And I thought you must never think old people are boring just because they're old, because they're not. Can you say hi to my daughter as it's her birthday today? Of course I can. Happy birthday. And what's more than that, I can sing to her. I don't know her name because you didn't say. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Insert name here. Happy birthday to you. Yes, I'm never going to be on Britain's Got Talent as a contestant, am I? So I saw another question. Are you writing a new book? Yes, I'm writing a new book right now. In fact, I thought I was going to be late for this Instagram live because I was still working on it. It's a world's worst book. It's not World's Worst Children. It's not World's Worst Teachers. It's something brand new. So hopefully it will be out in the summer. Ruby says, hello, Uncle David. Hello, Ruby. When you come to Malaysia, tomorrow. I'll come to Malaysia tomorrow. There we are. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm reading Grandpa's Great Escape now. Well, thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying it. How long does it take to write a book? A novel, it takes a few months, maybe 3, 4, 5 months. I'm not really sure. Sometimes it takes me longer than others. Some days you have a great day writing, and you write a couple of thousand words, and you're super pleased with yourself. And sometimes you write about 10 words, and you go, "What was that about?" No idea. We love your books translated in French because my son is French speaking. We live in Belgium. We love you. When do you come to Brussels? Tomorrow. I'll come to Malaysia, and then I will. The plane will fly over Brussels, and I'll parachute out, and I'll see you then. It's my birthday. Can you please shout me out? Hey, it's a shout out. Dave Walliams is doing a shout out to people's birthdays. Is your Simon with you? No, he's not. I'm pretty sure he's in lockdown in Malibu, which sounds like a great place to be in lockdown. I've got all of your children's books except World's Worst Children. What are you waiting for? I'm reading Slime. Thank you very much. We saw Gangster Granny in the Olympia in Dublin. Any more plans for theatre productions? Well, yes, I hope so. But of course, there's no theatre productions on right now, are there? So that'll be in time. Will you be watching BGT tomorrow? Yes, I will, because I actually haven't seen it. Sometimes they send a link to watch the first episode before you guys get to see it, but they haven't this year. So I will watch it for the first time when you watch it. Obviously, I was there when it was being filmed, but I won't know exactly what they're going to use. Felix, age 4, wants to know, are you writing a book about Transformers? Be good if I could, but I think copyright reasons means that I can't. Thank you for the daily short stories. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying those. And of course, there's 30 short stories in total. But if we end up being at home for longer than 30 days, I will, of course, put more stuff out there for you guys. Can you please say yo to Oliver? Yo, Oliver! Slime is on its way to us in Antwerp via Amazon. That's good news. Wave, please, David. Hi! I love Maggie and Judy. Greetings from Warsaw. Well, you never know. There might be some more Little Britain soon. David, mate, what's with the beard? Well, I'm at home, so I can grow a beard, and no one can complain. We love Eliza. I'm from the UK. I read your books all the time. I'm 12. I still love them all. You couldn't like them all at any age. I like reading children's books, even though I am 27 years old. I live your new book, Slime. I think that's love. How many books have you written? Says, well, actually, I found out the other day because someone asked me to do a quiz question online, and I've written 27 books, including Slime. None of them are any good, but I've written 27 of them. How are you doing on these times? I'm good, thank you. I'm keeping myself busy. I'm lucky I can work from home and I can be creative, and I've got my little doggy to keep me company. Who is your favourite classic Hollywood actress? That's an interesting one. I like Lauren Bacall. I always thought she was really, really incredibly talented and beautiful, and I think Katharine Hepburn is very, very funny. Can you wave to me? Yes, I can. Please say hi to Lars from Worthing. Hi, Lars from Worthing. I feel like a DJ. Rafe wants to know, have you ever written a book suggested by a child? Well, Slime, in a way, was suggested by a child because I met this brilliant little boy called Dante Marvin through this charity. I'm a patron of, Variety Charity. And he said, can you write a book? He's in a wheelchair, and he said, can you write a book about a kid in a wheelchair? And I thought, well, I'll think about it. And then I met him a few months later, and he said, have you written the book yet? And I thought, oh, no, I haven't. I've got to write this book. But it's hard writing books toward. Lots of people say, can you write a book about this? Can you write a book about that? And, unless you know what the story is, it's hard. But I thought, actually, an adventure with Slime for a boy in a wheelchair like Dante might make an interesting story. So I did. Hello from India. You're my favourite author. Thank you very much. Please, could you say hi to Ireland and Ken's, please? I think I just have. What's your favourite chocolate bar? Now, I like these kind of questions. They're revealing, aren't they? I actually really looking forward to Easter. I hope I get some Easter eggs, because I love Easter egg chocolate. But I'm quite traditional. I like Cadbury's chocolate. I hope Cadbury's are watching and send me some free ones. And I love Cadbury's buttons. So my favourite type of Easter egg to get, if there's anyone out there thinking of sending me one, would be a Cadbury's buttons Easter egg. And I love the giant buttons because I am actually a giant. My favourite book of yours is definitely Demon Dentist. Thank you. Hi from Cornwall. What's your favourite Disney movie? That is a great question. I think it might... Well, it's two, I'd say. Well, three. Sorry. It's hard to pick, isn't it? Because they're all brilliant. Dumbo. Wow. What a movie. If you've never seen it, watch it right now. Well, after this is finished. 2, The Jungle Book. Just brilliantly entertaining and fantastic songs. 3, not one that everyone necessarily has seen, is Fantasia. Now, this is a very imaginative Disney movie where basically lots of different animations put to classical music. Now, that might sound a little bit boring, but it's not. I saw it as a kid. It absolutely blew my mind. And I watch it again now and again, and I'm always amazed by how inventive it is. So I like them. I kind of like most Disney movies, actually. But Bambi, Jungle Book, and Fantasia are probably my favourites. And I've got a pretty soft spot for 101 Dalmatians. Do you like Simon or Amanda or Alicia? Well, of course I do. I happen to sit next to them. Would you rather be Mickey or Minnie Mouse? I don't think Mickey and Minnie Mouse are strangely a little bit boring, although Mickey Mouse is great in Fantasia because he has the famous Sorcerer's Apprentice scene. Who's your favourite actor? Me. Who's your favourite Power Ranger? Can't remember any about the Power Rangers. The red one. Hello, we love you from Dylan and Sam from Tooting. Tooting, that's where my mum and dad met, at Tooting Beck Lido swimming pool, probably in about 1961. What was the favourite book you wrote, David? It might be Gangster Granny. It was my 4th book, and I think sort of things came together in that book. And or Deck. I love them both, actually. But I probably... I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Deck's got a funny glint in his eye that I always makes me laugh. Favourite country you've ever visited? I think Australia. People are very, very friendly, and I love the outdoors life. Do you miss Simon? I do, actually. And I get quite sad when I don't see him. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more questions, then I'm going to have to go, because I urgently need the toilet. I'm so bored. Should be in Benidorm with Lay Down and send that. How do you come up with titles for your books? Well, yes, it's always good if you've got the title before you start writing it, I think, because then you know where you're going. But I often change at the last minute. But when you've got a good title, it gives you a kind of confidence. Though, have you been to Kuwait before? No, I haven't, but I quite like to. Will you marry me? Well, I'm not sure. There's a very small picture I can't really see. Have you been to Finland? Finland, no. It's all very specific questions about places. What's your favourite breakfast cereal? You see, these are the revealing questions. My favourite one, if I wasn't worried about getting fat, would be Cocoa Pops. But the one I have a lot is porridge. Okay, let's do 2 more questions. Favourite Hitchcock film? Oh, that's a good one. North by Northwest is probably the most fun, but Vertigo might be the best. Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales? I'm already covered in fur, and I don't mind it. My dad met you in London. See, that went by too quickly. Have you had gay thoughts about Simon? Okay, it's getting adult now. Okay, 1 more question. Favourite singer? Please answer me. Okay, who is the best singer? I watched an amazing documentary about Pavarotti, which if you've never seen it, you should watch that. Moore or Connery? Well, I got to meet Roger Moore, who played James Bond, and spend a lot of time with him, and I loved him. So I think I'm going to pick Roger Moore. A lot of people said that Sean Connery is a bit grumpy. Are you good friends with Matt Lucas? Yes, we were talking today. Do you play video games? No, I don't even know how to start them. What are you having for dinner? That's a good question. I think I'm having some soup. So... well, I've been wittering on now for far too long. But this has been really fun, especially all the questions. So let's do this again very soon. I'm sending all of you lots of love. I know it's a tough time for everybody in one way or another. But as long as we do as we're told and we follow by the rules, we're going to get through this and protect other people. So that's my thought for the day. And it's been really fun. Sitting here on my own, but talking to you and connecting with you in this way. Lots of love to you all, and let's speak again soon. Bye-bye.